Welcome into NFL Live, where we start today with breaking news, and it is not good. Panthers second-year linebacker Nick Scorton was carted off the practice field today with a knee injury during the team's first on-field practice of training camp. Scorton coming off a 5-sack rookie season in Carolina. NFL Network's Cameron Wolfe is at Panthers camp today. Cam, not what the Panthers wanted to see on the first day of training camp. What more can you tell us?
Yeah, Graz, I just got news a few minutes ago that tests revealed that linebacker Nick Scorton suffered a torn ACL in his right knee. Brutal news for the Panthers, brutal news for Scorton, who was expected to have a huge year 2 impact for the Panthers. You mentioned his 5 sacks, but the thought was he was going to be a really strong duo with their highly priced pass rusher, Jalen Phillips. And I was there at practice and watched it, and he took an awkward step towards the end of practice, and he fell down. And I've watched a lot of practices. I haven't seen many where a player gets carted off and every single player comes up and hugs them. There were players kneeling around, and you could feel the heaviness of the impact and the injury. And unfortunately for the Panthers, the test revealed the bad news that they were fearing. And so for the Panthers, they're going to have to replace him. But I just wanted to give you guys insight of how the team is reacting. And after practice, I got a chance to talk with linebacker Jalen Phillips about his emotions of seeing his teammate go down so close to him.
Obviously, we don't really know what it is yet, but just regardless of what it is, I know that feeling, man. I've been there, unfortunately, multiple times, and I know how frustrating it is. And Nick is someone who just cares so much about the game, does everything right, man. Such a great dude. So you hate to see it, but ultimately, man, I know that he is the type of guy, bro, that he's going to have a great mindset no matter what it is, and he's going to attack it, and he's going to be thankful to God for giving him the opportunity. And ultimately, like I said, he has a good head on his shoulders, so he's going to be good regardless.
Now, Phillips was a big portion of the Panthers' plan to solve their pressure issues, and he's going to have to step up even bigger with Scorton out. I talked with head coach Dave Canales after practice off to the side, and he mentioned to me that, look, Scorton's a huge part of this. We can't truly replace him, but he mentioned Pat Jones, a veteran free agent they signed a couple of years ago, and Princely, a young rookie they drafted a year ago, as 2 guys to help. They also could look in the free agency market to get an upgrade, but on what was a hopeful, optimistic day for the Panthers to start, as the rain comes down here in Carolina, certainly a somber way to end day 1 for Carolina.
Cam Wolfe with the very latest from down there at Panthers training camp, and of course not the way they want to start their training camp, as they and the Cardinals opening early because they play the Hall of Fame game. How big a loss is this for their defense?
Well, you guys covered a lot of it. You and Cam did, Graz, but let's start here. Why did the Panthers go out and spend $120 million on Jalen Phillips this offseason? The answer is they're looking for a lot of pass rushing answers. You already saw on the bottom of your screen that Scorton had 5 sacks, which is tied for the most amongst all Panthers last season. Players often see their biggest jump between their rookie and their second season in the NFL. Lots of reasons for the Panthers to be optimistic about Scorton's impact this upcoming year. And then I think, and you both mentioned it, but it can't be overstated, we've been waiting for months for training camp.
Yeah.
They have been getting geared up for what feels like it could be an improved defense for a playoff team last year that, by the way, went toe-to-toe with the Rams for a lot of that wild card game. This was not a team that, despite the record, was an easy out in the playoffs. And on the first day, we're talking about one of their best, most promising young players on defense, specifically going down with an injury. So a tough blow for Carolina on day 1.
Yeah, Carolina does feel like they have some of their strongest depth at this position, so I don't expect them to overreact. Princely Maye is a player they drafted in 25 right after Nick Scorton. Yep. Scorton was considered the steadier player, but Maye has the bigger upside. So they're going to need that upside in a big way for him to develop. They have Patrick Jones, a veteran who can slide in there. But what's devastating for Carolina is they felt like 2026, they had finally rebuilt this defense to a point of respectability. It had been 2 years of struggles and really subpar personnel. Finally got it to a good place. Scorton was a big part of that. Now he's out and they have to replace him.
By the way, their most reliable offensive lineman, Taylor Moton, dealing with blood clots now as well. So a tough injury start for Carolina, and we haven't even put the pads on yet, and Carolina already hitting the injury phase.
Yeah, tough news. Panthers, of course, enter the season as defending NFC South champions in a division where no one had a winning record last year. So high hopes down there to see how they recover. New on NFL Live from the Raiders, the wait is over. That's an is. It's a 15 because that's Fernando Mendoza's number. Agreement today on a 4-year, $57.2 million contract. Mendoza, of course, the #1 overall pick in the draft. Raiders rookies having reported to camp. Now Mendoza is allowed to get to work. And our Raiders reporter, Ryan McFadden, joins the show now. Ryan, day one for Fernando Mendoza and the Raiders rookies. What are you hearing about Las Vegas's plan for the quarterback position this season?
Yeah, Graz, the expectations remain the same. Kirk Cousins is expected to be the starter to begin the season, given just his familiarity with Clint Kubiak's offense, and during the offseason program, he took the majority of the first team reps during practice. Now, that does not mean Fernando Mendoza will not have a chance. The expectation is for Mendoza to get his fair share of first team reps when training camp begins next week. But the Raiders have made it very clear that they want to be patient in Mendoza's development, even if that means Cousins starts the first few weeks as a starter, or even starts the entire season in that role, depending on how he and the Raiders are performing.
Raiders, of course, want to make sure he's 100% ready for the NFL by the time they put him in. Thanks very much, Ryan McFadden. Along with the new quarterback comes the new head coach. Clint Kubiak had great success running the Seahawks offense as their offensive coordinator last season. That offense ranked top 10 in the NFL in yards per attempt, completion percentage, scoring, and sack avoidance as well. They also won the Super Bowl, which is a stat that doesn't show up on there, but is important.
Yeah.
Time will tell if he's able to work the same magic in Las Vegas this season with Cousins and Mendoza. Ryan referenced it. Cousins and Kubiak know each other. They were together in Minnesota. So Kubiak knows what he has in Cousins while Mendoza gets ready. What do you think Mendoza has to show in camp or early in the season to prove he's ready?
Yeah, Graz, there are some physical things that it's important for Fernando Mendoza to show in training camp. You know, footwork, mechanics, things that any young quarterback would have to show during his rookie training camp. Other than that, though, it is all the mental for Fernando Mendoza, because the reality is physically his skill set is superior, perhaps far superior to Kirk Cousins at this juncture of his career and Kirk Cousins' career. But Kirk Cousins knows this offense about as well as anybody who's not on the Raiders coaching staff, Clint Kubiak and his assistants. And I think when you're dealing with a young quarterback, there's an innate pressure on that player because he's the #1 overall pick. And I get it. Fans are going to want to see it. Frankly, I want to see him play as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But this allows the team to alleviate a little bit of the pressure from Fernando Mendoza, perhaps have him learn some things from the sidelines. You can't learn it all, but there are some things you can glean from the sidelines, and allow Kirk Cousins, who even if physically is not at the apex of his career, that's well behind him, knows this offense well enough that he can function it properly, and Mendoza can see exactly what goes into this system, and then eventually add the physical traits that he brings to the table, and this offense can reach the heights that it hopes to have.
Field, you mentioned innate pressure. That's perfect, because when I talk to people with Las Vegas, they say the pressure's off. It's kind of a relief that they don't have to rush him out there week one, for better or worse. If they were to have him go through the next 3 weeks in camp and he's not ready, they still have to play him, that would be daunting. But they have Cousins in place, and sources there say, look, Cousins is well positioned, yes, but we'll see how training camp goes. If Mendoza is just lights out for the next month and looks awesome, they have that flexibility to play him. The parallel I like is the 2024 Patriots, when they had Drake Maye, started Jacoby Brissett, see how it goes, play him 4 or 5 games. If they don't win, you slide the rookie in at that point.
I think there are reasons to feel that if a rookie plays all 17 games, like I think if you ask Cam Ward, he would tell you that some of the lowest moments he experienced, especially at the beginning of last year, will prove valuable to his development over time. I also think if you ask Drake Maye whether watching Jacoby Brissett for a handful of games as a rookie was also valuable to him. And it's obvious, not that it wasn't then, but I mean, Drake Maye nearly won MVP last year. This just in, he is and was way better than Jacoby Brissett. But there are two schools of thought. You don't have to say that one way or the other definitely works. So for the Raiders, they've committed to this plan, and it underscores a theme that I think has been important throughout this offseason. Timelines and continuity are finally in place in Las Vegas, which they were definitely not last year.
With the first-year head coach, first-year quarterback. I remember talking to Eli Manning when I covered the Giants, and he looks back on his rookie year. He sat for the first half, played for the second half. He says he thinks that was a huge help to be able to do both. New on NFL Live, free agent wide receiver Tyreek Hill posted an update Wednesday night on how his recovery is going. Hill, you'll remember, dislocated his knee and tore multiple ligaments in Week 4 last season.
When they told me they'd not be able to walk with me, and the doctor was like, bro, we don't know what's going to happen with your future. And now look at me. Sounds good. Felt good. Oh, yeah. So it's about 10 months after doing 2 surgeries. My left leg is the one that I injured. I have no power in my left leg at all, so I'm trying to regain all the power back in my left leg. But it's one day at a time.
So it doesn't sound like we'll be hearing from Tyreek Hill, at least on the football field, anytime real soon. What are you hearing?
Yeah, Dan, so I'm told that multiple teams have checked in on Tyreek Hill, but his market's a bit stagnant because of what you heard there, the severity of this injury. It's going to take time, and getting back for week 1 seems like an arduous task at this point. But I'm told that Tyreek Hill is still very fond of the Chiefs. Perhaps that door could be open if they need a receiver. Maybe they have an injury. Maybe it's week 4 or week 10 midseason that they need some help. So it could be a situation that makes sense there because of the familiarity. I also looked at Washington. Look, I expect them to add a receiver at some point. I think they would prefer to add a speed option. A lot of the veteran free agents out there are not speed guys. Even Tyreek Hill at 80% is still a speed guy based on the way he used to run.
Yeah, besides the Chiefs, I think that the teams that we need to look at are the teams that might need wide receiver help halfway through the season, right? Like, I think right at this point, late July, you can, as a team, you can often talk yourself into things looking a little bit different than what they actually will look like once the games have begun. There aren't too many teams right now that are saying we must add a wide receiver.
Right.
That will change when injuries pile up and when offenses are struggling during the middle of the season, at which point I think Tyreek Hill's market will be a lot better.
And all these guys, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Tyreek Hill, your best leverage is when a player gets injured, because then there's a starter spot you can walk into, command a better contract, and it goes from there. Right now, that's just not available.
I also, and I'm going on a limb here, I'm going to imagine that in the case of Keenan Allen and Stephon Diggs, who are healthy, they're probably okay not going through a full training. Just a guess.
At that point in your career,
30-plus-year-old guys.
Doesn't sound as great. Tyreek Hill led the league in receiving yards and touchdown catches back in 2023, but he did turn 32 this offseason and working his way back from injury. We are just getting started on NFL Live. The rookies are in the buildings. Which first-year stars are ready to make an immediate impact? Field Yates is going to give us his top picks. Plus, after New England traded for A.J. Brown this offseason, could Drake May's stock rise even more? Jeremy will tell us what he's hearing about Foxborough's new dynamic. Which of the rookies will be instant impact players for their new teams this season? Field Yates broke all these guys down for months ahead of the draft, and he is here to take us through who you think, Field, will be the top 5 instant impact rookies.
First of all, America, your eyes do not deceive you. Jeremy is 6'8". He is so tall when standing next to me. Dylan Thieneman, second safety taken in this year's draft class, out of the University of Oregon, goes to the Chicago Bears. This offseason, Kevin Byard walks away, 1-year deal to go to New England. He led the NFL interceptions last season. The best ball skills, bar none, in this past year's draft class, Dylan Thieneman. You need a center fielder? He is the center fielder. He will play in that Dennis Allen scheme. He's number 5 for me. The Bears' entire secondary has been remade this offseason, specifically the safety room, I should say. Number 4. I don't know how they get away with it, but every year the Ravens just have a player, kind of boring, but you know he's going to be a darn good pro for a long time. He falls into their lap, it feels like. Malachi Starks a season ago. Venga Ioane, the guard from Penn State, who took snaps at all 5 positions during his college career. He's big, he's physical, he's nasty, he's a day 1 starter. The Ravens desperately needed guard help this offseason. Their patience paid off. They have rebuilt the interior of that offensive line after we saw Tyler Linderbaum sign that big deal this year to go to the Raiders. Carnell Tate, number 3. I was trying to think of my player while also saying the Raiders. Carnell Tate, I'm excited about this guy. I think Carnell Tate perhaps became a little bit underrated because the idea was the Titans took that guy 4th overall. This is not Marvin Harrison Jr. or Justin Jefferson or Malik Neighbors. This is Carnell Tate, a number 2 wide receiver at Ohio State. Jeremiah Smith is a different beast, my friends. He was the number 1 wide receiver at Ohio State. Brian Daboll hired as the OC this offseason. He's got a lot more players to work with. Carnell Tate, Wan'Dale Robinson amongst the 2 new wide receivers in that room. We did not see a ton of trades in the first round of the NFL draft early. We did see one notable one. The Chiefs moved up from 9 to 6 to get Mansour Delane, who finished up his college career at LSU, previously at Virginia Tech. Guy actually ended up running a very good 40 time during the pre-draft process. That was kind of the only question about him after his stellar 1 season at LSU. The Chiefs, of course, lost their corners to the Rams.
Right.
Jalen Watson, and they traded away Trent McDuffie. Number 1, surpriser. And I know Jeremiah Love, gotta be honest, talked about him a bunch. And also, that team is going to struggle this year. Sonny Styles, my friend. Sonny Styles just I don't know. You stand next to this guy at the draft and you're like, there's no way we're the same species, are we? I mean, there really isn't. He was a college safety at the beginning of his career. He became a linebacker. He's got elite range, elite vision, cleaned up his tackling in a major way this past year, was amongst the most reliable tacklers in all of FBS 2 seasons ago. That wasn't the case. His intangibles are off the chart. He's got great communication skills. Bobby Wagner, at least for now, not going back to the Commanders' defense. They've revamped that unit on the whole. This guy should step in and not just be an impact player, but the quarterback of their defense.
Thoughts?
What I love about Sonny Styles is the way Dan Quinn is going to use him. I think he's going to have a monster year, not just as a tackler in the middle of the field. Sure. I think he's going to get him going downhill. He takes exquisite front seven options and gets him going. So even though he's a different position than what Micah Parsons was in Dallas, sure, I think it could end up having somewhat of a similar impact. You almost had the clean sweep, though, Ohio State triangle here. You left one guy who's also going to be a monster. Also, Makai Lemon, I got a comp for you. Amon-Ra St. Brown. You probably heard that a little bit pre-draft. I just think if they can get the middle of the field going with Jalen Hurts, he is going to eat in that offense.
I think Eagles fans should be excited right now. Nick Sirianni says Dontavian, we'll talk about this more. Dontavian Wicks reminds him of Keenan Allen. A little bit. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Makai Lemon. Eagles in this new look offense and Sean Mannion could be putting up some serious points.
A lot of opportunity there in the wide receiver group with A.J. Brown off to New England. Another one of the 5 teams whose rookies and quarterbacks reported today for training camp is the Tennessee Titans. Carnell Tate, as Field just mentioned, was a rookie of note in Tennessee, along with the Titans' other first-round selection, defensive lineman Keldrick Falk. Of course, it's all about Cam Ward there with the #1 pick from last year's draft. Jeremy, what are you hearing about Cam Ward?
Well, Dan, I'm hearing that the Titans are not worried about some of the accuracy issues he had in the spring. He did clean it up in minicamp. OTAs were a little shaky, but you talk to people there, they say new offense with Brian Daboll, 2 new top weapons in Carnell Tate and Wan'Dale Robinson, and Cam Ward was experimenting a little bit, trying to find out what works, what doesn't. That's the time of year to do so. They expect him to clean it up in camp. As one source I talked to there, they said, look, when he throws the football, you know that you have a dude. This is not a Band-Aid quarterback. He is a guy with real ability that they expect to make a big jump.
Of course, the quarterback series now on Netflix. We get a look into how these players are wired. And Cam Ward wired a little differently. And I mean that in a very, very positive way. Being a quarterback is not just the physical attributes. It's also how you carry yourself, how you lead. But Cam Ward also turned it on the field in the second half of last season. We think about some of the highlight throws, and there were some of those. But just generally was way steadier weeks 10 through 18, as you saw. 10 touchdown passes, not a huge number, but the number on the right of that column, just 1 interception, an important reflection of growth that we saw from Cam Ward last season. His top pass catchers last year are going to be depth-level players this season. For him to accomplish the growth that he did in the second half of last year, I think speaks to why we have a lot of optimism about a lot of guys right now. But if he's one of these breakout guys that we're talking about as, you know, a premier quarterback by the end of this season, would not stun me whatsoever.
Yeah. Biggest thing with him, take the layups. The previous coaching staff had an issue with that with Ward. He can make the big play. Take the easy 5-yard check down when it's there. If he does that, he'll be a better quarterback.
The new offensive coordinator, Brian Daboll, he took a quarterback in the first round last year when he was head coach of the Giants. That was Jackson Dart. Now he gets to work with the first quarterback.
These uniforms are
taken
sweet,
in that draft. The uniforms are sweet. Cam Ward on Netflix playing the video games and hollering at everybody, doing the press conference where he's saying bad words about his team. It's fun stuff. Go check it out. Still to come on NFL Live, the Chargers made a big splash, hiring Mike McDaniel as their offensive coordinator. How can he unlock the best version of Justin Herbert? We're going to discuss that, and we'll go live to Chargers camp to do so.
What? What happened? Well, I don't know. Was it a fumble? Was it a pick? What? Are we punting? Are we going for it? Like, what are we doing? I don't know what's going on, guys. I got you Wagyu.
Watch with NFL Plus.
Don't get stuck without football. Get live, local, and primetime games on mobile with NFL Plus and keep the NFL in reach.
Hey, where's the food?
When you need longer-lasting body pain relief, try Aleve. Just 1 dose of Aleve provides pain relief for up to 12 hours from all types of body pain. Aleve, longer-lasting body pain relief.
And this is from the woman over there.
You just earned 5% cash back on that. Also, if I start a conga line, will you join?
Earn 5% cash back at different categories each quarter on up to $1,500 in purchases when you activate. 250 reasons to choose T-Mobile. Here's a good one. America's fastest 5G network. To demonstrate speed, here's someone on a bike. And the fastest 5G home internet. Just look at this woman streaming instead of sleeping. There's lots more reasons to go. Find yours at T-Mobile.
Adding stuffed crust to Domino's best deal ever for just $9.99 was all Lindsay's idea.
We used to charge $3 more for stuffed crust, and now we're just giving it away.
It's the most financially irresponsible idea Lindsay's ever had.
It's crazy.
If her idea doesn't pan out, I call dibs on her office. I've already made myself quite comfortable.
Get any toppings on any pizza, now including stuffed crust, for just $9.99.
Lindsay.
Only at
Mendoza. I'm Keegan-Michael Key, and Ore-Ida invented tater tots. Anyone else is just an imitator. Sup, Unc? It's at Keegan-Michael Yee. Tots me. Please, help yourself, young man. Throw it in my mouth. Okay, never even looked up. Ore-Ida, there's only one original.
Home, auto, State Farm is there to assist.
Kind of a big assist guy myself.
Oh, yo!
Assist off?
Assist off.
Sequence.
Yeah. With State Farm, you can file a claim right on the app. Yeah, State Farm can help you get this covered.
Nice. Fam, did you just assist my assist? I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at that either.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Season 2 of Athletes Unlimited Softball League loaded, ignited by a record-setting inaugural season. A bold new era in softball is here. Now, 6 teams take the field in their home markets, each stacked with a lineup worthy of the spotlight. The AUSL Championship Play-In, tonight at 9 on ESPN and the ESPN app.
This collision shop is going to try to repair this car. They have hundreds of tools, but it's not an easy fix. This is the injured driver of that car. It wasn't her fault. To repair her body, the doctors will need sophisticated surgical tools. Not an easy fix. Yet who will repair her life? She'll need a large insurance settlement. Not easy to get. The one tool she needs now is me, Jeffrey Phillips. Phillips Law Group. Everything you need to win, including a Phillips.
I'm Noah, the cash home buyer, and I help homeowners in tough situations by giving them a fair, fast cash offer on their home. I know this market, and I know what a fair offer looks like on your home. But more importantly, I can get cash to you in less than a week. My team's always available 24/7, whether it's divorce, debt, or you just need a clean way out. I've seen it all. Call me now for your cash offer.
When cash is required, no other cashhomebuyer.com.
Welcome back to NFL Live. We got teams opening up training camp. Jeremy Fowler, give us some top stories you're following around the league.
Dan, running backs are trying to get paid. 2 of the best in the game right there. Atlanta's Bijan Robinson, Detroit's Jahmyr Gibbs. Both teams have told their respective players that they have interest in re-signing them to mega deals. They're eligible for extensions, but not significant progress on either side at this point that I'm aware of. You know, every time this year, Dan, you have some hold-ins, players that report to camp and don't practice, withhold their services. I wouldn't be shocked if one of those two at least looked into that option if they don't see the progress on a deal. Now you got Stephon Diggs. Now he's a free agent, one of the top wide receivers available. I'm told at least 5 teams, receiver-needy teams, have checked in on Diggs to see where his market's at. Could be a situation where he waits to sign or signs in and around where players are reporting. Maybe there's an injury in camp where he could go. He's looking at the DMV. He has interest in playing for Washington or Baltimore. He's from that area. We know the Ravens have explored signing those retread receivers in the past. Maybe they go that route. And then Baker Mayfield, the Bucs are officially on the clock. He wants a deal before training camp. Well, they report mid next week. So the Bucs have a lot of progress. I've talked to some execs around the league who are skeptical that Tampa can get something done by then, given the magnitude of big quarterback deals, the complexity of this. Those teams believe that Mayfield, if he gets a new deal, will probably be in line of, like, say, Daniel Jones money, which is $44 million, or maybe even up to Trevor Lawrence money, which is $55 million a year. That's a pretty big gap. He feels like he's outplayed some of those big money guys. He wants a new deal. They got a lot of progress to make up here in the next, say, 5 to 6 days.
Certainly outplayed the $33 million a year he's been making. Only Jared Goff has thrown more touchdown passes than Mayfield since Baker got to Tampa in 2023. Out in L.A., the Chargers rookies are reporting to camp today. Chargers, of course, trying to run down the Broncos, hold off the Chiefs in that tough AFC West. They got new coordinators on offense and defense. Break it all down for us. Our Chargers reporter, Chris Rim, joins us live from Chargers camp. Chris, lots of changes in L.A. this offseason. What's the mood around the team as camp opens up?
Yeah, Dan, the mood around Chargers, urgency, frustrated with ended under Jim Harbaugh, and a bunch of players who are frustrated with how the Justin Herbert era has unfolded in Los Angeles. And 3 really humiliating and embarrassing playoff losses. That earlier, they're all tied.
Having a little trouble with Chris's feed there from Chargers camp. Hopefully we'll get him back a little bit later on. But one of the biggest things that held the Chargers back last season was the offensive line. Multiple injuries led to a front that had the lowest pass block win rate in the NFL. Also let their quarterbacks get hit more than 200 times, most in the whole league. And they allowed 60 sacks, which was tied for the second most field. We know those 2 starting tackles of theirs that are so good got hurt. Tough go for the Chargers offensive line. But the new coordinator, Mike McDaniel, coming over, former head coach of the Dolphins. So a lot of changes on that line. What kind of difference do you see McDaniel making this season?
Massive. The biggest coordinator change of the offseason in the NFL. Maybe the biggest coaching change, head coach or coordinator in the NFL, could shift the balance of power. If this offense kicks into hyperdrive or overdrive, then why can't they make a real mark in the AFC? We know that offensively, that was what held them back in the playoffs. They totally rattled Drake May in that loss to the Patriots. They just got nothing going for the offense or on the offensive side of the ball. Tua Tagovailoa was taken just 1 selection prior to Justin Herbert. Their careers have been linked since they were taken back in that 2020 draft class. I don't think it's much of a debate who's the superior talent. There's a reason why one of them was cut this offseason, one of them was not, that being Justin Herbert. Tua was amongst the most electric and prolific passers for a 2-year stretch with Mike McDaniel when he arrived to Miami. Not saying it's the same supporting cast, but I think this is a good enough supporting cast in Los Angeles that this offense can be absolutely dynamic because of the Mike McDaniel hire. You know the run game is going to be off the charts.
Yeah, Phil, McDaniel had his choice of OC jobs this offseason. He took the Chargers solely, well, not solely, but primarily because of the quarterback in place in Justin Herbert. He was the best available. And you saw in those video clips there, Herbert was playing with like a green weighted ball. Yeah. McDaniel is doing some things with Herbert that are a little different. It's almost like he's rebuilding his accuracy a little bit. He's not a quarterback that needs rebuilding. He's a top 10 guy in the league, but they want to make sure that he's 100% accurate, that he's not having to drop back in tough situations, throw the ball 40, 50 times a game. The Chargers are excited that McDaniel can scheme up some easy plays for Herbert, get him some 5 or 6 yard passes that are easy first downs where he doesn't have to do the heavy lifting. And then you got those tackles you mentioned, Joe Alt, Rashawn Slater. There's so many things you can do from a flexibility standpoint with that offense, with those 2 in place and finally help.
Worked on the interior of that offensive line, too, in free agency and the draft. So things will look different in Los Angeles for the Chargers. Tua Tagovailoa, you mentioned, best QBR season of his career was Mike McDaniel's first season as head coach of the Dolphins. Time to see what's on trend as teams open up training camp. Cleveland Browns rookies report today. The biggest storyline in that camp is, as usual, the quarterback situation. Last season, Browns quarterbacks ranked dead last in total QBR and completion percentage, likely in part due to the league's highest pressure rate. They have Deshaun Watson back from multiple Achilles tears, and he's in a competition with second-year man Shedeur Sanders. Jeremy, what are you hearing about the Browns' plans at quarterback?
Dan, I'm hearing that the Browns walked away from the offseason going into camp saying we need to see more. The Shedeur Sanders had a nice late surge at the end of OTAs and minicamp, closed the gap a little bit. Most people around the league still say that Deshaun Watson is the favorite. He'll be well positioned through this, but I think Todd Monken is going to go into training camp action and some preseason game action to figure out who his starter is. He just wants to see them in different scenarios, playing 11-man football, maybe taking some hits, who responds. This is a true camp battle, maybe more so than some of the others. The good news for the Browns, whoever the quarterback is, Quinshon Judkins, quick add, running back hurt his ankle. I'm told he will be full go for the start of training camp. So they have a bell cow for the new QB.
Certainly good news there. The Arizona Cardinals begin their on-field training camp practices today, and they have a conundrum under center as well. 4 quarterback options currently on the roster. Jacoby Brissett started most of last season. He's in a contract dispute with the team at the moment. Gardner Minshew is also there, along with third-round pick Carson Beck and Keaton Slovis. Phil, what do you think Arizona should do?
I'll let Jeremy fill you in on the Jacoby Brissett contract stuff, but I do think that Jacoby Brissett will start the season, and should, because as we were talking about a little bit earlier on with Fernando Mendoza, it alleviates the pressure on Carson Beck. This Arizona team's going to struggle this season. There is a serious talent gap on both sides of the ball that eventually needs to be made up. But they have to get a thorough evaluation for Carson Beck at some point this year to discover whether or not they are going to be back in the quarterback mix in 2027. People get sick of hearing this, but I'm telling you, there is a very, and I mean very deep potential class next April in Washington, D.C. at quarterback.
And that's part of the strategy. Do the Cardinals want to win 5 or 6 games? And, where do they want to be to position themselves to get the right quarterback? But Jacoby Brissett is still considered the top guy, and they are trying to work out a contract for him. They do believe that he needs a raise. He's only due $5.4 million this year, but I don't expect it to be too significant. They're not going to go crazy for a quarterback who won 1 game last year for them. But the players, they showed up to him in South Florida, worked out with him. Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, all those guys, they went to visit him. Like, they feel like he's their quarterback. They just got to work something out. And meanwhile, the Cardinals have to create a plan with Carson Beck and Gardner Minshew with reps, with Brissett not there, because he could very well be a hold-in where he doesn't practice until they get a new deal.
Brissett threw 23 touchdowns, 8 interceptions last year in 12 games as a start. Just some back-end starter money would be nice.
He was a fantasy legend last year.
That's exactly right.
You know what I'm talking about, Grass.
Speaking of legends, new on NFL Live from the legend Adam Schefter, the Ravens have waived quarterback Diego Pavia.
College legend.
That's exactly right. He was the 2025 Heisman Trophy runner-up. He signed as a free agent after going undrafted and was part of the Ravens' competition for the number 3 quarterback spot during spring practices. But apparently, he did not win it. Coming up on NFL Live, hear the story of how brotherly bonds and friendly rivalries helped shape New England's star quarterback.
I was always the little brother, kind of the run of the family. I still am. I appreciate how much they impacted my life and my sports career.
But before he was an NFL breakout star, Maye was taking his lumps from 3 older brothers in the driveway.
My 3 older brothers, those are my 3 best friends, and they're a big part of why I'm here, and they've done some great things in their careers. But I think starting to play quarterback and kind of get the attention I've gotten has been new for our family and new for me, and it's been something that we're get adjusted to.
That's interesting. You said new attention for your family. Your family's got pretty, they've been in some big moments.
Yeah, the shot he hit, I don't think I've trumped that yet.
Maye for the win. Got it. Maye. He got it. 3/10 of a second.
That shot will carry on for generations, so I don't think I've trumped him yet. With this shot, that put us on the map. But I guess I got to do something else.
Walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Drake Maye.
What has it been like, the conversations that you've had with your brothers since you've been an NFL quarterback? Like, to what degree do you lean on them?
It's huge. I was always the little brother, kind of the run of the family. I still am. I got my brothers that are 6'7", 6. They keep me humble. The viral video of what they said about me after the draft.
Pretty boy. Overrated.
Serious? Are you serious?
Too much heat for you, Luke. Too much heat. You know that, too.
For most of their lives, Drake was the one admiring his older brothers on center stage. Now, Drake is the one in the spotlight. And so his brother Luke, while playing pro basketball in Japan, does whatever it takes to support him with a strong dose of brotherly love.
Me and Luke, we talk, really every day. He's 13 hours ahead, but I catch him in the morning when it's night over there.
1 p.m. game. His game starts 3 a.m. I'm playing basketball overseas, living in Japan. I'm able to find ways to watch Drake's games. I'll get over to the couch, get my iPad linked up to the TV. I'm definitely blowing up the family chat, which he sees after the game.
Saying, hey, you missed that guy open, or why'd you throw the interception?
There's nothing like family and nothing like being able to watch family succeed and fail and being there for them.
Growing up the youngest, the smallest, he experienced his fair share of losing early on.
If we were between the lines, no matter what we were playing, we'd make sure to let him know that you are the youngest and you need to wait your turn and you need to continue to work on your craft before you come and play against us.
I mean, we pushed him, made him as good as we could by just beating up on him all the time.
Let's go, man! That's what I do, man. Pleasure, maybe next time.
I knew he's going to be great. Second year in the league, battling for an MVP. Might be a little bit early, but I knew he had a chance, and he's got a great head on his shoulders. He's super smart, and he's got a great work ethic.
They're some of my biggest fans and come to games and are in the stands in the cold weather and love watching me play. But at the same time, I look back at growing up with them and appreciate how much they've impacted my life and my sports careers.
Great stuff there from Jeff Darlington. Little brother Drake Maye had a truly ascendant season in 2025, leading the league in total QBR and yards per attempt, with notable success in deep passing. Also took good care of the ball with the 4th best touchdown to interception ratio in the NFL. Patriots lost Stephon Diggs in free agency in the offseason, but did trade for A.J. Brown and signed Romeo Doubs to bolster that wide receiver core. So, Jeremy, Drake Maye's coming off a near MVP season.
Yeah.
What are you hearing about New England's expectations for him and the offense this year?
Dan, the expectations are astronomical because Maye did what he did last year without elite wide receiver or offensive line play. Well, they got him the receiver help. A.J. Brown, even if he's declining a half step, he's still a top 10 receiver. He still changes the dynamic on the field where you have to bring a safety to his side of the ball. That will open up the running game, will give Drake Maye more options. Romeo Doubs is one of the best number 2 possession type receivers in the entire league, and free agency reflected that. So they think Maye's going to take an even further step. When I was doing my quarterback rankings this summer, some of the complaints were like, yeah, he's really good, but I want to see him do it again. But the Patriots definitely plan to see him do it again.
Yeah, the schedule's going to be tougher this year. No layup for this team coming out of the gates. Of course, Wednesday night in Seattle to open up the NFL regular season. But to me, it's all about the offensive line. We saw the offensive line come under duress throughout the playoffs. Will Campbell, bouncing back from a late season knee injury, frankly met his match against some of the NFL's elite edge rushers at the end or during the playoffs last season. There's promise, though. The Patriots have a core of 4 offensive linemen, 25 years or younger, who, if these guys can stay healthy, which is a huge if in the case of Ali Vera-Tucker, they signed this offseason away from the Jets, this team could have a stone-cold dominant offensive line for years to come, which is a rare thing to find in the NFL. They got to stay healthy, and they got to gel.
Well, I'll tell you what, in case you guys missed it, Will Campbell is working hard to get ready for training camp. He showed off a recent video of him, I think, if I'm right. The New York Giants are among the teams whose rookies reported to camp today. First Giants training camp under new head coach John Harbaugh, and obviously high hopes for a turnaround there in New York after several lean years and several coaching changes. Giants' success this season will be largely dependent on the health and availability of their main skill position players. Quarterback Jackson Dart missed multiple games with concussion issues last year. Running back Cam Scatterbo had a nasty ankle and leg injury, missed half the season. And star wide receiver Malik Neighbors tore his ACL in week 4 and still working his way back from that. All that considered, Field, there are high expectations for Jackson Dart entering year 2. And so much of the story last year was about he needs to protect himself better. He's scrambling too much. Do you expect the Giants to tone that down in his second year?
The last stretch of last season, when the Giants' season was basically lost, they couldn't decide whether they wanted to take the car out of the garage or leave it in the garage. Jackson Dart was playing in these games, wasn't running nearly as much, seemed just a lot less prolific as a passer as well. It was just kind of a disaster. I don't think it's a reflection at all of Jackson Dart's ability. There were some incredible moments last season. That game where they went to Denver, they ended up losing it. It was not because of Jackson Dart, who shredded what had been perhaps the best defense of the NFL last season. The question I have is, and John Harbaugh might be the right coach to give us an answer, is are you going to allow Jackson Dart to tap into his full dual threat ability? Because if you do, the upside's very high. If you do, there's also more risk, as we saw last year. John Harbaugh, having coached Lamar Jackson for a lot of years, understands how valuable a dual threat quarterback can be, which makes me feel like they are going to allow Jackson to be a bit more of the player that we saw when he was kind of taking the city of New York, not quite the NFL, but the city of New York by storm last year, and making the Giants, even in a disappointing season, a much more watchable, exciting group.
Yeah, Field, my sense is the Giants want to let him do that and do his thing if they can run the ball first in a traditional form, because this was a top 5 rushing offense last year. When's the last time the Giants before then had a top 5 rushing offense? Because they struggled with that offensive line for so long. They feel like they finally have a good nucleus there. You got Cam Scadaboo, who will be the lead back, but Tyrone Tracy will get a lot of run. They have a deep running back room.
Yeah, they do.
So they want to tap into that, and then that should protect Dart a little better, and then he can go do his thing and be the dual threat guy when necessary. Now, one player I want to highlight here, because talking to people with the Giants, Malachi Fields, a 3rd-round pick.
Okay.
Here's a comp for you. Plaxico Burress. Somebody gave me that comp. They say he's just a bully downfield. He's not fast.
Yeah.
But he'll catch the ball.
Yeah, no drops last year from Malachi Fields.
He just wins contested catches. So I think he's going to help Dart right away.
Yeah, he was in that 4.6 range, 40 at the combine. One of the reasons why he ended up going 74th overall. There were moments where he looked like a top 50 level prospect, but you just don't see that many receivers running that time going that high.
Look at the size of him. Hey, Scadaboo, real quick, the running back, he got hurt last year. What's the latest on his recovery other than the backflip?
Yeah, backflip aside, Dan. I'm sensing optimism. He had a medical check this week. So it seems like right now, all systems go. It will be up to the Giants and their discretion as to how they ease him back from that ankle leg issue. But senses optimism. Malik Neighbors, that's the big one. You talk to people there, they're still kind of waiting to see what his involvement's going to be early in camp. But Scadaboo should be good.
That, to me, the Malik Neighbors and when he returns and how effectively he returns is kind of like the ceiling level gauge for this Giants offense, right? If Malik Neighbors is what he was as a rookie, this offense can absolutely hum.
Yeah.
But even with the optimism I have for Jackson Dart, if Malik Neighbors isn't himself, it's just going to be much harder for this offense to be the reason why they win games by itself.
The biggest question hanging over that team right now. We have time for one more thing before we go. Justin Jefferson came in second among wide receiver rankings. Jeremy Fowler does every year, polling people around the league. And here was Justin Jefferson's reaction to that.
It makes me laugh, and it also makes me a little bit, angry. But that's kind of been my whole entire career. That's been my whole entire life. Obviously going off of last year and seeing the year that I've had, it's normal for people to kind of put me below, what they had me before. So it's just all about, proving it to everybody again, like I've already done multiple times. It's nothing really new to, the goals or to the accomplishments. It just continue to do what I do best, is going out there, catching the ball and, hopefully getting to the end zone a lot more this year.
It's not like he was 8.